Everyone wondering what's up with Ryan Bader. Why is it taking him so long to find a new home? Is he going to Bellator? Is he staying with the UFC? Let's hear it from the man himself. The one and only Ryan Bader is joining us on the phone right now. Ryan, are you there?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
There he is, Ryan Bader. Everyone talking about you. Everyone wondering what's going on with you. Everyone wants to know where your new home will be, or if you're going back to your old home. Break some news for us. What do you got?
Well, the breaking news is I'm a Bellator fighter now, so I'm excited. It's kind of refreshing. I'm ready to step in there. I want a title shot right away, and I think I deserve it. And I'm just super excited.
So it has been completed. The deal is done. You have put pen to paper.
I signed it this morning. Yes, sir.
Wow. What did that feel like?
It felt good. Like I said, it was kind of refreshing. I've been a UFC fighter, for so long now, and I had a couple fights outside. First couple, local fights, and get into the Ultimate Fighter. Then, I had 20 fights in the UFC there. So it's something new. It's exciting. I'm going to have great opportunities. And I feel like I'm the best I've ever been right now in moving forward. And so, it's one of those things where, I was pushing for a title shot in UFC. I wanted a title shot. I wanted to win that belt. But we're with Bellator now. So that mindset is still the same. I'm looking to go in there. I'm looking to, fight for the title and win that title and keep it for as long as I can. So I'm still at the top, physically. I'm even better mentally than I was even, last year. So I feel great.
Have you been told by the Bellator brass that you will get a title shot in your first fight?
So that was part of it, and part of the negotiations and whatnot. It's not 100% done deal, but we were talking about it, and they like it. Obviously, we like it. It makes sense. 2 top 5 guys in the world.
Yep.
We fought. I beat him in the last. I'm his last loss. He comes over. He's been looking great. He wins a Bellator belt. So it makes sense for me to, go in there and fight for it. I don't think too many people can, bitch about me coming over and getting an immediate title shot.
And would you be like, if they came and said, you know what, Ryan, we've got another idea. We love this idea, whatever, this is the name. Would you be disappointed? Is it really set in your mind that you want that title shot first right off the bat?
Well, I'm a competitor. I want to compete. I want to fight. It's been, fought last in November, and I want to fight here in June. So,
okay.
We want the title shot, obviously, but I don't hold the belt and I don't make the calls, So,
yeah.
You can't make somebody fight.
Right.
So, it's kind of in Phil Davis's court. So, I'd love to fight him in June for sure. If something happens, we'll definitely go that route and see what the opportunities are. I'm open. That's just one thing that was intriguing about coming over to Bellator. We talked about different things. We talked about being able to move up to heavyweight for here and there, and a Fedor fight intrigues me, stuff like that. So. We're definitely open, but we want the title shot first for sure.
And by the way, are you implying that Phil is not so interested in this fight? Have you heard that?
No, I think he wants it. I just don't. I haven't really heard too much.
Okay.
They were just trying to get because that's one of my first questions. I signed the contract. What's next?
Yeah.
What's the date? Who am I fighting? Am I fighting for the belt? And there was just kind of a little, we just have to make sure Phil's on board kind of deal. And so, I want to lock that down. I don't want that kind of running away from us. And then all of a sudden we want to fight in June and we're fighting somebody else. And, Phil wants an extra month or something like that. So if it's something like that, we'll wait for that title shot. If it's something else, we'll go ahead and fight, but it's got to make sense.
Why did this take so long, Ryan? Because I remember around Super Bowl weekend, you were on the show end of January, and you said that you were about to get an offer, and it seemed like you were headed in this direction. And then Super Bowl weekend, I remember the day before the Super Bowl, the Friday before the Super Bowl, Dana White did an interview with USA Today and essentially said, like, we're not going to match the deal. He can go to fight in Bellator. And that was a month and a half ago. What took so long between, he went out publicly and said, we're not going to match. That to me felt like an admission that they are not going to match and that you were free to, go ahead and put pen to paper. Yet you just said you signed the contract this morning. Why did it take an extra month and a half?
Yeah, no, I heard that too. I heard, when Dana came out, and that was the first I heard that, but they were more interested in that comment though, and that we were working closely with Mick Maynard, and he was constantly asking about the offers and talking to my manager Dave Martin, what we got to do to stay in UFC, this and that. So there's more interest than Dana White let on. But it just, my contract basically was the first, with this class action lawsuit and whatnot, I just happened to be caught in the middle of the two lawyers from Viacom and the UFC, basically. And so whatever they did with my contract, going forward, that's what they would do for the rest of the contracts from the other guys. So they just had to make sure with Bellator turning over contracts to the UFC, et cetera. So whatever I did there, that's how it was going to go. Go ahead and be, be a standard for, what went on. So I was just kind of caught in the middle. I had that deal. When we talked, I had pretty much had an offer from Bellator. So we knew we had that. And we were just kind of sitting there, just waiting it out, really, knowing that was going to happen. But there was no super rush from us. We kind of had a time frame when we wanted to fight and whatnot. So finally got it done, signed the paper this morning. So it's a done deal. Just took longer than expected.
And did they ask you to see, the full contract? And was Bellator hesitant to do that, and that's what took so long?
Exactly. Yeah. Usually, from what my understanding is of it, in the past, guys have just shown them basically the offer, which could be in an email or a text message or whatever. It's just the terms,
Yeah.
How much per fight? What's the fight? The UFC wanted the full contract, and so that right there was a holdup from that took that month and a half or whatnot. So they wanted the full contract. Bellator didn't want to release the full contract to them.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened before. And so then they had that little, not a fight or anything, but, they had to go through that process because that's going to be the standard from now on, how they did mine.
Do you know if Bellator ended up giving them the contract?
I do not know the particulars on that.
Okay.
The two lawyers, they worked out something where I guess they were both happy, and I was able to go, and UFC gave me my release, and they tried to make it as painless on me as they could. I was still in contact with some of the UFC employees and stuff like that, so they were helping out. So just took longer.
So no hard feelings as you depart.
No hard feelings at all. There's some stuff with the UFC that I had more grievances about. When the whole title shot thing, and when Dustin got it off of knockout loss, and the run around here and there, and I felt like that carrot was always dangling, and but on the other hand, I spent majority or all my career in the UFC and 20 fights there, and had a blast traveling the world and having fun and fighting for them, and started to change a little bit, with the sponsorships getting taken away, and then you started to see all the new people and stuff like that these last couple year and a half, and so leaving, it's kind of bittersweet. It's refreshing. It's something new, heading over to Bellator. But I spent my whole career in the UFC too.
Yeah,
I travel the world and fight in front of new crowds. I was on the first Australia card. I fought in Japan. So looking back, it's sad, but at the same time, it's refreshing. I'm excited for something new.
The way it kind of came out publicly with Dana doing that interview and saying like, Bellator is a good place for him. Did that bother you at all? Just kind of, it sort of felt dismissive in a way.
Yeah, he comes out and says things like that, about some other fighters and whatnot. He makes those comments, so just take it with a grain of salt. I'm a top 5 guy in the world. You know, my losses are to all the top guys, you know, and I beat a ton of good guys. And right now, 205 in the UFC is shallow, and you know, and so it was a little weird how dismissive it was, but you know, it is what it is. I'm a competitor. I'm going to go over there wherever I'm at and try to be the best. So, you know, I didn't really take too much attention to that at all.
Did you get any other serious offers from anyone outside of Bellator?
You know, we didn't even really even try.
Okay.
We talked to Bellator. I flew out there, met with Rich Chow and Scott Coker. You know, I liked what they had to say. I liked their plan. You know, and they had a plan in place and what they wanted to do with me. And we probably took, you know, 3 weeks or so to, you know, negotiate an offer. Then we got the offer, and it was it's amazing contract. And so we didn't feel the need to go get any other offers, really.
Did the UFC ever offer you a deal?
No. So, well, they you know, offered you the deal before your last fight.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Or Bulgaria.
But not after.
We said no thanks. So basically, once we get the, you know, once we got that offer, you know, my manager was talking to the matchmaker and talking to UFC, and you know, at that point they have the right to match, and so they got to match that, and we kind of knew they weren't gonna match it, you know, because it's a flat fee. You know, UFC likes to do the show and win, so we all kind of knew that they weren't going to match that offer.
Is this contract better than any that you've ever had in your MMA career?
100%. Yeah, I think it's one of the better contracts out there outside of being a UFC champion.
Okay.
With, you know, pay-per-view points and stuff like that, you know. And so, like I said, it's a flat fee, and you know, 6-fight deal. We have some stuff in there. You know, my agent did a great job negotiating. You know, I have to have 3 fights a year. If I don't get those 3 fights in a year, you know, barring that I'm not injured or whatnot, you know, they have to pay me my purse.
Wow.
You know, yeah, if I'm not hitting those the inactivity clauses and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just stuff like that, and then the sponsors, you know, and the sponsors are huge. And you know, back when I was in the UFC, you know, when we could have our own sponsors, you know, not to sit there and talk numbers, but the lowest I've ever made, and this was on the prelims, was $35,000 for a fight. You know, I've made upwards of $80,000 a fight.
Wow.
On sponsors, you know, and we have, you hear some of the fighters, they come out and say, you know, the sponsors have dried up and this and that. So the Reebok's nice, which, you know, just for me, it's just their managers are lazy. You know, they're calling on people, you know, they see on other people's shorts. And it used to be like a standard figure. Hey, you on the prelims or are you on the main card? Here's $2,500, whatever. You know, we have those relationships with big companies that stuck with us, you know, through the whole thing. And so to have the sponsors, to be able to, you know, represent those sponsors again is huge for me. That's a lot of income too. So that was a big factor in moving over also.
And do you feel like you'll be able to get back into the sponsorship game, that there's still a market out there now that you're fighting on 100%. Spike? Yeah, you feel have you already reached out to, I mean, not you personally, maybe, I know you have a team there, but is there interest? Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, definitely. I think we're back to, you know, when the heyday of sponsors in the UFC, we're going to do the same deal. You know, I had a couple awesome sponsors to stick by me, you know, that, the Saito Sports and the American Ethanols, you know, they even stuck by us, you know, with the Reebok deal. And obviously, at a lower scale, you know, but we just kind of switched it up and on how we represent them and how they can use us. You know, so they're stuck through, but they're going to ramp it up again now that I can represent them in the cage and whatnot. And so, yeah, we already have those all laid out and they're ready to go. So.
And to be clear, you're not like your deal. You don't have a win bonus. You just get paid to show up and fight.
To show up and fight.
Wow.
I get my purse, you know, and so I do have a finish bonus, but that's just gravy, you know, it's just on top of everything, which is great, you know. I feel like the win show, and we've talked about this before. I get why they do it. Obviously, one, save some money, and two, the thinking of having the fighters go out and try to secure half their pay. It's going to be exciting fights, but I feel like sometimes it's the exact opposite. I think if a guy knows he can win a certain way, he's going to take that route, to get half his pay. Whether it's a wrestler or whether it's a karate guy like Machida-ish, staying away and kind of using jab and keeping distance or whatnot. I feel like you fight a certain way to secure half your pay. If you get a flat fee, you go out there and fight however the hell you want, knowing you're going to get that pay no matter what.
Right. Yeah. No, I remember us talking about this, around 6 weeks ago, and I couldn't agree more. By the way, we had Lorenz Larkin on earlier in the show, and he said he was a little disappointed. Some of the fans were writing to him saying, "Oh, you're going to the B leagues now. Oh, I can't believe you left the UFC." This has kind of been rumored for quite some time. Have you received the same kind of feedback?
On social media here and there, I have people just kind of, they'll say, "Oh, don't go here, or stay in UFC or whatnot." But I think that's changing pretty soon. Bellator, they have some really exciting stuff coming up, and look at the talent they're getting right now, and so, I don't pay too much attention to that, but I've got a ton of support actually, more so than anything negative.
Okay.
Whether it's, people want to see change too, and they get behind the fighters. And so it's exciting for them too. They're seeing guys like me, Rand, go over to Bellator. 205 right now is looking pretty good in Bellator. So there's exciting fights there. And like I was saying earlier, the opportunities. Scott asked if I'd be open to fighting Rising in Japan and stuff like that. So it's exciting. There's a lot of things we can put our heads together and get done in Bellator and have fun fights. And obviously my mind right now is going there and win the title, though.
Yeah.
Become the champion, But yeah, I'm just excited about the opportunities.
And by the way, I got to ask, I feel like at some point Scott is going to ask you this question. You versus Tito 2. Would you pick?
I love it.
You would take? Would you take it over the title shot?
I want the title shot, 100%.
Okay. All right.
But that fight's definitely. I want to get all my losses back, and then switching organizations, that's going to be a tough deal now. But Tito is one of those ones where it still gets me here and there. But yeah, I would love to. I know he's retired now, but I think that'd be a huge fight, and I'd love to get some redemption for sure.
Did Scott say that he's going to try to make the fight?
No.
I feel like he would.
No, I haven't heard that yet, but it's a great idea.
All right. And as of right now, you don't know the exact date of when you'll debut for them?
No, I want to fight in June.
Okay.
I think they have a card coming up in June, so I want to be on there. So we'll see. I want to fight Phil Davis.
Okay.
For the title. Right. But like I said, I'm open. And I'm open for those fun fights. So, like I was saying, like a Fedor deal or something like that. And so if I don't get that title shot, then we'd have to, to have to talk it out and figure it out. If it's waiting another month and then we're guaranteed the shot, I'm going in there to be the champion. So I think I have the right to go and walk in and fight for the belt right away. And so that's my train of thought right now. If something changes, then we'll have to switch it up a bit.
Congratulations, Ryan. This is great stuff. I'm happy to hear that you're really happy with the deal, that you got a great deal. And I'm curious to see what happens as far as your debut is concerned and where you go in Bellator. It seems like they're very excited. The Spike account tweeting about it, the Bellator account tweeting about it. So everyone seems excited. You're going back to Spike, where you were first introduced to the MMA fan when you won the Ultimate Fighter Season 8. Appreciate you coming on and talking about it. Congratulations again to you and your team, and good luck as you prepare for your debut.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. There he is, Ryan Bader, the newest member of the Bellator light heavyweight division. Also said that he would dabble in the heavyweight division, and now that's the third name that Bellator signed in the last 7 days as far as recognizable names are concerned. UFC signing fighters all the time, but you got Dylan Dennis last Monday. Thursday was Lorenz Larkin, and today it's Ryan Darth Bader. How about that? So another name to add to Bellator's growing roster of fighters.